Hey guys, it's Matt from Train Sim Society and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. The time is here. It's the beginning of a brand new month, which means we have a brand new roadmap article for TSW6. And going along with that article, we will also have a roadmap live stream, which will be happening later today. So there is quite a bit to cover this month. So we have new routes in greater detail, lots of partner projects moving forward, patches that are on the way, and also we're being introduced to a brand new developer joining the partner program. So first, kicking things off with the free starter pack. I've talked about this a lot recently, but if you haven't picked up the TSW6 free starter pack, you have until November 11th, so there's only a couple more days left. That is this coming Tuesday. Now, once you claim it, it will stay in your account permanently, and it will give you access to TSW6's latest updates and improvements. So even if you don't plan on purchasing new content, as long as you claim that free starter pack, you will be able to receive updates for previously released content, as those updates are only happening on TSW6. And also for anyone still on TSW5 or earlier versions with compatible content, this is your way to bring your entire collection forward and also make use of the ongoing support and feature updates that come to it, if there even is any at all, since that has been pretty limited. But after November 11th, the pack will be going away, so if you are on the fence, at least claim it while you still have a chance. So Dovetail also launched a new support website alongside TSW6, so the old Fresh Desk site isn't loading anymore, it has been completely replaced. This new site has detailed guides and FAQs and support pages covering TSW6 topics like downloading add-ons, getting started guides, and troubleshooting. So if you need help with anything TSW6 related, that is where you will find all of that stuff now. So on to the upcoming Frankenbahn route. This is Stuttgart to Heilbronn. So this is the new southwest German route the Dovetail team has been working on and teasing for quite some time. This is set in the 2000s era. It's coming to PC and Gen 9 consoles only. So that's Steam, Epic Games, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X. So yet another Gen 9 only release. Honestly, it doesn't really surprise me. I feel like they are just slowly weeding out the Gen 8 releases, honestly, as they should. The game is just far too advanced for consoles that are, I think, a decade old now, or more than a decade old at this point, so it really doesn't surprise me. So the route brings two new pieces of stock. We're getting the BR140 locomotive and the new Wittenberger Sturwagen cab car. The BR140 offers classic locomotive traction with some interesting gameplay features. It's got a single release brake, which means you'll need to manage the application and release carefully. The release can be triggered when the lever is replaced one step down, so there is a bit of a technique involved there with that. The BR140 will support toggleable train faults as well, as I would expect any new content going forward. We have to keep our standard features as standard. I have noticed that sometimes they don't come initially at release, like with the Birmingham to Crewe route. Honestly, I feel like all of the core features that we get every time we get a new release of this game every single year either aren't there or aren't fully implemented, at least correctly at launch, and they come later. But I still would expect that nonetheless. So the Wittenberger cab car is a bit more complex. It is compatible with multiple control systems for different types of locomotives. The development team is currently working on implementing these controls with various locomotives in the game, including the BR218 diesel. They'll confirm which locomotives will be fully compatible closer to release, but it sounds like they're aiming for a decent amount of flexibility here. Both the BR140 and the cab car will have toggleable train faults again, and the coaches will include passenger announcements. Now, in addition to the new stock, the route also includes the DBBR111 and wagon coaches, and also the DBBR363. The variant variant of the BR111 and N-Wagon is getting updated with a range of toggleable train faults. So these will include wiper faults, pantograph failures, circuit breaker failures, handbrake failures, stuck passenger doors, and also passenger lighting failures. There will also be some minor bug fixes and improvements made to this version of the BR111 and Wagon coaches and BR363 compared to previous versions, and the team says they'll keep updating us over the next few weeks as more screenshots and information becomes available. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. It's been a little bit of time since we've seen a new German route not represented in modern time, and honestly I thought Leipzig to Dresden was just a little on the disappointing side considering half of the routes basically recycled and there really weren't many improvements to the Dresden to Riesa section. Thankfully, there's a mod that actually adds scenery enhancements to the route over on TSC. I highly recommend that. Definitely makes it a little bit more fun to drive. But you know, I'm actually looking forward to this one. So next up is NEC New York to Stanford. We don't really have much here yet once again. This is the new US route in development from Dovetail, taking us back to the Northeast Corridor with a new Metro North M8 EMU. I will say I am very excited for that EMU. So the team has just started working on the environment and track laying for this route. So it's in its early days. I don't think we're going to have any screenshots for a while. And you know, just reading that, I'm definitely thinking it's probably not coming until later in TSW6's cycle. I'm thinking probably February at the earliest, but most likely March or April or May, I'm thinking. So, you know, no screenshots, no detailed information at this stage, but if you are interested in a new US route from the Dovetail team, definitely keep an eye out over the next few months as they start revealing more. And I do plan on doing a deep dive on some of the threads over on the forums centered around this route because there is a lot of useful information and things that have been confirmed or at least talked about and speculated in there that I do want to bring up in some capacity. Now up next is the BNSF GP60M and GP60B from High Iron Simulations. So we have more in terms of US freight, and I think US freight fans are going to be very, very happy with this one. So High Iron Simulations just announced their next project following the Santa Fe pack that's releasing next week. So they're bringing the BNSF GP60M and GP60B to TSW6. So these locomotives were part of the Santa Fe Railway's Super Fleet Intermodal trains. Electromotive built 63 GP60Ms equipped with wide-nosed North American cabs between 1990 and 1991, along with 23 cabless GP60B booster units. So both models put out 3,800 horsepower. They were originally dressed in the legendary war bonnet livery, then joined the BNSF roster in 1996 when Burlington Northern and Santa Fe merged. Most of them are still in service today. So the pack will include the GP60M in BNSF H2 and H4 schemes and the GP60B in the H1 livery. It'll also come with a new model of the railroad's modern articulated spine intermodal car with trailer and container loads plus an ex-Santa Fe GA series ribbed side 3-bay covered hopper in BNSF colors. You'll be able to put them to work in timetabled services and scenarios on the Cajon Pass route with bonus scenarios on the San Bernardino route as well. I'm really happy to see San Bernardino getting some love. And lastly, High Iron also mentioned that the GP60M and GP60B in original Santa Fe war bonnet livery plus a BNSF patched version of the war bonnet will be coming in a future livery pack. Of course, as I just recently covered in yesterday's video, we have the Santa Fe on Cajon Pass gameplay pack arriving November 13th. So 1 week from today, guys. I'm definitely going to be checking that out. So this pack will bring 1990s Californian railroading to the Cajon Pass route during the final years of Santa Fe operations. So you'll be getting the C48W and SD40-2 in iconic war bonnet and freight liveries, along with 3 entire entirely new AT and SF freight cars and 3 existing TSW freight cars repainted in Santa Fe liveries. So the goal here is to repopulate the Cajon Pass route with the colors and equipment of the ATSF during that era. So if you're interested in that period of American freight railroading, this pack will be focused on delivering that very specific experience. Now up next, we're going to be learning a little bit more about the Avanti West Coast BR Class 805 from All Aboard Studios. I'm actually very excited for this one now. All Aboard was off to a bit of a rocky start with Birmingham to Crewe. Thankfully, they have been very good and much better than Dovetail at addressing concerns and rolling out fixes. A lot of problems seem to have been fixed already. Still lots of work to go though. But putting the Birmingham to Crewe release from October aside, they're now moving towards their next project, which is the Class 805. So they've provided a pretty big update on where things stand with that project. The team says it's been designed to sit naturally within the modern railway, bringing responsive traction, dual mode capability, newly captured 2024 audio, since these are pretty brand new honestly, and also the Avanti styling, and the goal is to complete the current West Coast mainline picture with yet another piece of contemporary equipment. So we're going to be getting a new timetable for West Coast mainline south for this thing. We also have another update. Now alongside the Class 805, Birmingham to Crewe is getting a full modern day 24-hour timetable based on real operations in 2025. So this will not replace the original 2019 timetable. This is going to be a separate edition. The 2025 version reflects how the route runs today, with Liverpool services turning back at Birmingham New Street, a Stoke Loop shuttle represented by AI waiting on Stafford Platform 6, and Class 390s between Crewe and Birmingham, now calling it Stafford, with reduced wait times at Wolverhampton. I'm very excited for this. I really do like that original 2019 timetable, but it just feels a little bit quiet on the northern end, and I'm really hoping this new timetable will kind of help level that out a bit. Also, I'm really praying that this new table won't have AI SPAD bugs at launch, and also will have completed arrival times on release, because we still don't have that with our current timetable for Birmingham to Crewe. So there's going to be broader freight representation, fresh rail tour paths, and also a set of ECS moves to keep things active around you. The Class 805 fits into this updated flow with a mix of short and long distance workings, and also regular depot movements to and from Oxley. West Midlands Railway continues to handle stopping and fast regional runs between Birmingham and Wolverhampton. London Northwestern Railway's Class 350s will maintain their semi-fast pattern to Crewe. Transport for Wales keeps their cross-border movements in line with current operations, and there are also some special workings, including Class 47 tours and a recreation of the 2024 Class 323 farewell tour, each with unique empty stock activity. So the full 24-hour period contains 2,171 services in total, with 510 of them drivable. The timetable makes full use of modern stock where appropriate, with some older traction retained where it improves completeness and gameplay value. As with other routes, any layers that affect immersion can be disabled to suit your preference. So I feel like in terms of size and how much gameplay you're going to get with this thing, it seems about as big as the 2019 timetable. It's just going to give you, I guess, a different variety of traffic and stopping patterns. That's at least what I'm gathering from this, as someone who isn't a local to the region. So like I mentioned earlier, West Coast Mainline South is also getting a 2025 timetable, with both routes receiving their own modern day working patterns, and the Class 805 tying the network together with its current inner city presence. The West Coast Mainline should feel more connected and reflected of today's railway. And All Aboard Studios says they're looking forward to sharing more information as they approach the end of the year. So that's probably going to be something that we receive sometime next year, maybe in the winter or maybe early spring. Now up next is the Transport 4 Whales Class 142 Pacer from Just Trains. So we're getting closer to that release, and Just Trains provided a batch of new screenshots this month. So let's just do a little quick recap of what's coming with that one. So the Class 142 is arriving in its Transport 4 Whales livery with LED headlights, 2 leaf bifold doors, updated door open and close operating buttons, and also sanding equipment. There are additional modeling details like the smash glass to access the emergency door handle, which is non-operational, plus NRN and GSMR antennae. The timetable included is set in 2019, when the service pattern on the Valley lines was quite different compared to today. Instead of trains going from Corryton to Penarth, the trains from Corryton went to Ratter, which is actually much quicker by foot since it's a U shape. Penarth trains instead go to Bargoed and Rumney instead of Corryton. Class 142s run most of the Valley Line diagrams, but in 2019, TFW had a couple of Class 37 diagrams with Mark IIFs running services up to Rumney, which you'll be able to see drive up to Heath High Level. The timetable also includes Class 802s, 150s, 165s, and HST Castle sets for GWR traffic, plus Class 170s and the once-a-day Class 220 for cross-country. For the longer distance TFW services, you'll have Class 150s in their XATW livery. And Just Train says they'll be sharing more details shortly about when you can expect to pick this one up. So no release date info just yet. So now up next, West Coast Main Line Crewe to Preston from Just Train. So they have also been continuing their development on the Crewe to Preston route, which covers a busy section in Northwest England set in the 1980s. The route includes the historic railway town of Crewe and a number of branches that let you explore lesser known areas like the Deepdale branch north of Preston. You'll be driving the Class 86/4 on high-speed passenger and freight runs between Preston and Crewe, plus updated and improved Class 220/0 and 47/3 locomotives. Now this month they've shared new work in progress screenshots showing the front end variations of the Class 47/3, along with an image of the updated cab featuring the slow speed control for MGR coal operations. They've also provided images of the route itself, including Winsford Station, Salop Goods Junction Signal Box, Crewe Gresty Lane, Fiddler's Ferry Power Station, Warrington Wigan Springs Branch TMD, and Newton Lewillow Station. If you want to read more from the Just Trains team, they maintain an in-development blog page that covers both the Class 142 and the Crewe to Preston route in more detail. So up next, Cargo Line Volume 5 Nuclear from Skyhook Games. So they announced this all the way back in June, I believe, and they've been working on it for quite some time. This particular volume will focus on nuclear material transport. So the pack introduces the FNAD flask container wagons and the Type 1 Class 20/3 diesel locomotive in an unbranded Oxford blue livery. In 1994, Direct Rail Services took over rail-based handling of nuclear material from British Rail and operated a fleet of 21 Class 20s. These locomotives were significantly upgraded with long-range fuel tanks, group standard headlight clusters, high-impact windscreens, and also a complete cab rebuild before being outshopped in Oxford blue livery with fully yellow ends and red buffer beams. Now, in the 2010s, replacements were required for the aging fleet. The new batch of FNAD wagons featured several major updates, including exposed framing, different bogies, and also the ability to carry a wider range of flask designs. Now, despite the reduction in nuclear power plants in the UK since the millennium, the FNADs can still be seen in use across much of the UK. So Skyhook says the progress is coming along very well. They're planning to release a full announcement article next week that'll explore all the details about this pack, along with a wider range of new images. Now we have the BR Class 90 from Alan Thompson Simulation. This is probably one that I am looking forward to the most out of everything here. Obviously, taking New York to Stanford, a part of that equation. I'm always excited for new US stuff, especially say if it's Northeast Corridor based because I am an NEC junkie. So they announced this Class 90 freight pack last month, but they are back here with an update. Since the latest roadmap, members of the ATS team took part in a very dedicated recording session to capture the full sound set for the Class 90, ensuring an authentic audio experience. Oh man, am I excited. They nailed Manchester Airport commuter. I do wish it was longer. I wish it went to Crewe. You know, that way those passengers at Crewe wouldn't have to rely on bus service to get to Alderley Edge. That's just horrible. You know, maybe one day we'll see that extension, but I just will say what they did and what they tackled with that route was very, very well done. So I am definitely looking forward to what they do next. So gameplay development has been led by ATS, with Simugraph work progressing in close collaboration with the A&D Games team. They report that the light at the end of the tunnel is very bright and gameplay is nearing completion. So livery creation has been handled by Imbue, who've delivered a diverse and high quality set of liveries that complement the pack's flexible service mode, so players will be able to choose the freight run that suits them best, adding replayability and variety. ATS says that with a rich feature set and a deeply authentic driving experience, that they are pretty confident the community will appreciate the attention to detail and realism this pack delivers, and they've also noted that the images shown may depict content still in development, and licensed brands may not have been approved by their respective owners yet, with some artwork still pending approval. So we're getting closer and closer to our release of this, it seems. So in our next section, we finally hear more about the London Overground mild May line Richmond extension from Incredible Trains. So Johannes at Incredible Trains, the creator of the London Overground mild May line that released back in March, is working on an extension to Richmond and will also be bringing the route up to the current TSW6 standard. Now he says progress has been steady, but he's looking to add announcements, train faults, and also temporary speed restrictions to bring the route in line with TSW6 features. He's waiting to confirm the option to use real announcements first, and he also noted he's looking at key fixes from the original release alongside this update to support performance and improve the overall experience. So we'll be kept informed of what changes will come once Johannes has been able to complete his work on the project. So up next we have Firefly Simulations, a brand new TSW partner. So we're being introduced to a new partner this month. The team composed of 5 people you may recognize from the TSW modding community. Fox, who handles gameplay and signaling. We have Bestcott with his background in BVE and TSW enhancement packs. Charlie managing train setup, and also the Jetwash focusing on route accuracy and detail, and also Spratty working on scenery 3D models. So the team came together after years of creating mods and enhancement packs for TSW, feeling like they'd reached the limits of what modding could achieve and wanting to take things further with official content. You probably know Jetwash from his visual enhancements and Fox from the absolutely amazing West Coast Mainline South custom timetable. They're enjoying the collaborative process, particularly the signaling work and timetable creation, and bringing accurate representation of real locations into the game. We don't have any details on their first release yet, but Dovetail hints there might be more revealed before the end of the year. I'm very excited to learn more because they are all very, very great community contributors to, our general TSW experience. Modders honestly saved the game to me. If it wasn't for Jetwash, if it wasn't for Windsorton, I probably would have checked out from TSW a while ago. There's just something about modders and what they do with adding and improving immersion within the sim that Dovetail just seems to really fail at sometimes. So there are additional add-ons progressing well from other partners, but not every roadmap will have major updates on everything, and some add-ons from recent roadmaps include Library to Star Opaka from Vector Simulations. We have Lisbon to Setúbal from Virtua Via 360, the Tadami line from Union Workshop, the Class 171 and 377/3 pack from Rivet Games, the Expert DBBR145 from TSG, DBBR420 from TSG, HST Farewell Tour from Grump Dog Games, and also the GWE Remaster. So definitely excited to learn more about these routes and new countries, but there's no news here. But the article does note that that doesn't mean that progress has stopped. There just really isn't much new to go over. So now on to recent patches. TSW6 has received a few updates recently. On October 10th, the first major update to Train Sim World 6 brought key improvements to highly reported community issues raised over the launch period. This includes fixes for the Riviera Line's missing water textures, which some are saying still aren't fixed, braking issues on the Class 220, and also tweaks made to train faults. On October 28th, there was a small hotfix to improve memory issues and crashing on Birmingham to Crewe following its launch, alongside a few other key issues. They've been really good with Birmingham to Crewe. I will give it to them, getting things fixed and ready. Was it in a acceptable state at launch? Absolutely not. But you know, they've been hard at work listening to the community and really working with us to get things fixed and patched out. And you know, there was a video that I was working on. I am thinking of just scrapping it at this point because it's probably my most insufferable video yet. Like, it just feels like an entire video of me complaining, but it's really about the bigger picture of where TSW is headed, especially on consoles with the blurry textures, and also, you know, routes releasing unfinished, patches not really fixing much, or saying they're fixing things but not actually fixing them. It's just kind of about, you know, the general state of TSW right now, and I feel like I've made so many videos like it. Who knows, I might still end up finishing it and publishing it, but it just came off a little too harsh. So I don't know if I would have put that video up. I wanted to wait for this roadmap though before making that decision, because I wanted to see if they were going to address the absolute dumpster fire that is the community right now in regards to just the state of the game and the state of DLC as it releases. It doesn't really seem like much is being addressed in that manner, so who knows, maybe I will finish that video. It's also important to note that on October 28th, another major update landed with improvements to profile transfers for PS4. We have announcements and further improvements to train faults, and we also received the Fife Circle Sprinter timetable, along with improvements for the ScotRail Class 158. So as far as upcoming updates, the teams are working on the next set of updates for TSW6, with core updates planned to land every couple of weeks, twice a month. They'd originally planned the next update to land in the first week of November, but they're still working to make sure it's tested correctly and ready before it goes out. Please, for the love of God, make sure it is, because we do not need this game any worse than it is right now in terms of how things are performing. We also need more addressing on the blurry textures issue, because it is getting bad. It is getting very, very bad, and it is now plaguing Gen 9 systems as well. So they mentioned they're looking at the middle of next week for the update, but they've cautioned that timelines may shift, but they will keep everyone informed when they're able to confirm details. It also looks like our next update will also contain a wider range of improvements for the recently released Birmingham to Crewe route, as well as further core improvements from feedback following TSW6's initial release. So that is good. And once we get more information or new details, I will definitely share them with you. So we have a little update on the Epic Games compatible content situation. Now, as of an update earlier this week, all of the remaining entitlements have been added and are available to install on TSW6, so that is good. That will allow players to bring their entire collection across the latest version of TSW and also enjoy the latest improvements and upcoming remasters for all owned compatible content. But the big question here today is, when we get TSW7, are we looking at this issue all over again? Will it happen again? Honestly, who knows? Maybe. We really have to stop with this absolutely disgusting business model. It is getting so tiring, and in my own opinion, it is really hurting the game. It is destroying this game. It is really hurting the trust too from long-time players and long-time consumers. And I have read so many posts online. People are tired of buying content for this, and they're tired of doing this every single year. And you really have to stop and ask yourself, the new players that are coming in when they they re-release this? Is that outweighing all of the customers that they're potentially losing, long-term fans and devoted players? It's almost as if Dovetail is reading the 101 handbook on how to single-handedly alienate their customer base and erode trust from their paying customers. So for the situation in regards to debranded Caltrain content for PlayStation, now Dovetail is aware that these entitlements haven't been carried across to TSW as expected, and they've been in contact with PlayStation and been able to implement a special case workaround to give everyone the access needed, but they're aiming to set this live tomorrow, Friday, November 7th at 10 a.m. UTC, allowing people to download the TSW6 versions. If you have the related entitlements, be sure to claim these add-ons to get the content in TSW6 and onwards. It's just so sad that we have entire sections of our roadmap dedicated to entitlements and fixing these problems with content not carrying over every single year. Just stop these stupid yearly releases and you wouldn't have to spend time, money, and resources on fixing these problems, and that could actually go to the game in new content. I just don't get it. I really don't get it at this point. Again, they're alienating their player base. This sounds dramatic, but they are single-handedly like trying to destroy this game. It is so frustrating to watch. I also just feel bad for all of the people that have been affected by this and literally couldn't play with all of their add-ons and layers for over a month because of this. Like, that is just ridiculous. Yes, you still have access to the TSW5 version, but you know, when a new game comes out and they do this yearly release, you expect to be able to bring all your stuff over with ease. I'm thankful I'm one of those players that can because I'm on Steam, but I'm always going to sympathize with other players, especially, you know, those on Epic or on console that aren't getting the same experience as PC and Steam. So for November, there are new mastery challenges. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. I'm going to keep it real short and sweet. I'm also not going to talk about Metro Rivals New York because I have 2 whole videos on that entire debacle. And I think them announcing this around the time when the game was and still kind of is in shambles was really tone deaf. Like, the game is going up in flames. We're looking at performance and optimization problems reaching an all-time peak, and you want to go, hey, we're working on a new game. Like, now's not the time. It really isn't the time. But hey, if you want to learn more about that, I have videos on that. And they also talked about the To the Moon Expo, where you will be able to actually demo the new Metro Rivals New York game and play it, I believe. And lastly, we have our roadmap stream tonight. It'll probably be happening by the time this video goes up. But that is pretty much everything from the November 2025 roadmap. We've got routes progressing, lots of partner content moving forward. They touched on patches and a new partner program, plus some time-sensitive items like the free starter pack ending this Tuesday, and also the Santa Fe gameplay pack releasing very, very soon. So definitely let me know below what you think about this roadmap. What do you think of these updates? Share all of your thoughts below, and that's going to be it from me for this video. Take care, guys, and happy rail simming.